Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where... Oh, fuck it.
No one has gone before. Oh, I thought we were going to do the music.
The music was playing. Okay, enough.
Oh, she's really good.
Okay, cut.
You have a ringer there.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of Geek Talk MD.
Yeah.
I'm Moses.
Who are you? And I'm Dave.
And if you haven't guessed, today's episode is about Star Trek, since this year marks the 50th year since Star Trek premiered.
The big 5-0.
Yeah, Star Trek is old. And joining us...
We have guests.
And joining us, our guests, returning once again, one of our published authors, Samantha!
Hi, everyone.
The one sane person in the group.
I was not singing. I did not sing.
I heard some singing going on there.
It wasn't me.
We also have Scott in mind, but he couldn't quite make it on right now.
Yeah, he's here in spirit anyway.
He's here in spirit.
And in foul language.
And cursing.
Yeah. And also joining us, Trish.
Your 50-year-old wife.
I guess I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. So,
Star Trek.
You know, I think we should start at the beginning. Like, where
there was light.
And thank you.
September 18, 1966.
There you go. September 18th. It premiered September 18th, 1966. But I think the first question really should be, what episode do you remember, Dave?
Well, why don't you start us off since you brought it up?
Okay. Well, the Gorgon episode was the first one I remembered because it scared the living crap out of me. For those of you that don't remember, that was the one where all the adults on this planet have been killed off. And the children are just all playing around.
Hail, hail, fire and snow, call the angel, we will go far away for to see friendly angel come to me. Okay, thank you.
I remember that.
Yeah, and in order to take over the ship, they create this illusion for Sulu that he sees on the view screen that the Enterprise is surrounded by giant space swords. I'll never understand how he was convinced that that was real. And to prevent Uhura from calling for help, they convinced her that she was now old and wrinkly, which basically left her paralyzed.
Well, her weakness was her vanity, and suddenly there was a mirror where there was no mirror.
Yeah, there was never a mirror before. Anyway, but the part that scared the crap out of me was at the end when Kirk is able to break the illusion that the Gorgon was appearing to the kids as this benign old man. Mm-hmm. And when he's able to break the illusion, they see him for the ugly thing that he really is, and there's this red ooze,
black warts,
and it was just nasty. And I don't know, I was a little kid then, probably maybe 5, and that just scared the crap out of me.
Mm.
And of course,
I remember the flying pizzas.
That was the flying.
Oh, I don't. The flying pizzas with Spock, right?
Yeah, the one that hits Spock in the back, and they have stingers, and they leave little things in his blood.
Now, isn't that
and they cause pain, and you hear him go, pain is a thing in the mind, because he's on this on the couch, and he gets up, and he's like, pain can be controlled, and he goes back because he's the one who can't be infected anymore, and the flying pizzas are coming out, and he grabs them with the tongs, and he puts it in the box,
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that the episode where Kirk's brother dies?
Yes, but his nephew is still
his nephew is
alive,
still
but he's
alive.
infected.
Right.
And they discover that, and they blind Spock
That's the.
because it's light.
Oh,
kills
that's
them.
how. That's right. Yeah.
But then Spock pulls
and
in,
that's where Spock has the fight up
inner
has,
eyelid because the Vulcan sun is so much closer.
Yes.
And
Spock's eyelids.
Dr. McCoy goes, I might have known he would have pulled something like this. And you were so concerned about his Vulcan eyes, you forgot about his Vulcan ears.
What about you, Samantha?
Do you remember which episode you started with? One of the first ones you remember?
When I was a kid, it was always in syndication, so there was always The Next Generation was on, like at 9 o'clock on the Fox channel, which was channel 17 where I grew up. It was like The Next Generation, and then for a while it was Voyager, and then for a while it was Deep Space Nine. But I just, we watched all of the Star Treks through a few years ago, me and my husband, and I just remember the very first one I saw from the very first episode and the only thing I remember from there is, I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer.
Oh, that would be
line,
the,
and I was like,
the
that's it,
Horda,
I'm hooked.
the Devil in the Dark.
I'm hooked now because
And that's also famous for being the other episode where Spock yells out, "Pain!"
That's true.
I melts with those things or whatever. Yeah.
Oh my God!
The one I remember is the one with one of the first ones I remember seeing was the one with Apollo, and ironically,
yes,
I was I was very much
Adonis?
into mythology back in the day.
Yeah,
and for this to be one of the first episodes I was watching, I didn't really at first realize I was watching a space show. Until obviously they show the ship and the rest of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so here's Apollo and the scene at the end. If you haven't seen it, it'll be a spoiler alert. But if you haven't seen it,
Screw it. Sorry?
But when he's calling out to the gods for help, and why are they letting this happen and so forth, I thought that was very impactful to me. That whole clash between mythology and fantasy, and fiction and sci-fi sort of merging in that one scene.
Yeah.
I knew I had to see more of this.
Yeah, it was something you got hooked on very easily, and if you didn't get hooked on it, well, at least in my opinion, if you didn't get hooked on it straight away, that was pretty much it.
You think so? You think that it divided that easily?
Yeah, it's kind of up there with stuff like Monty Python, where either you love it or you hate it.
Yeah, and I don't like Monty Python. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, you're never going to be on the Monty Python episode then.
Probably not. I don't get Monty Python, but anyway, that's a digression.
Yes, we're no strangers to digressing.
Okay, so I mean that's a good place. We've sort of covered off some of our first introductions to it, but what about some favorite characters? And let's just take we're talking about 50 years of Star Trek, so let's go across the board. Let's not just have to focus on the first ones.
So who's your favorite,
across
Dave?
the board, I have to say Scotty.
Hi.
Because to me, the one that got stuff done.
Yes.
That's true.
He's the one that, even though he admits later on he always overestimated, it doesn't matter. He got the thing done.
How can you expect to be called a miracle worker if you tell them how long it's actually going to take?
Exactly. So, I can appreciate that from the early onset, even before he said that kind of stuff. But, I always liked the character. He was the most real to me. But on the flip side, my other favorite character would be Data. Because again, I like that dynamic between something that isn't human that wants to be human, and
Pinocchio.
Well, yeah, to a certain extent, yeah. The innocence of it.
Yeah,
I like Data as well. I think he might be my favorite character in that series. And we just started watching it again, and the episode where Lore comes to the ship.
Love that episode.
the first time.
Yeah, the very because we're on like the 4th or 5th episode, but it's amazing. Brent Spiner playing Data. I'm watching him play Lore, and I'm like, he does such a good job playing Data, keeping his face neutral. Even when he smiles, it looks like an android smile, because you can see the difference when he's Lore. He actually has these human expressions. It's pretty amazing.
He's actually an incredibly good actor. Before Star Trek, he was a recurring character on Night Court. This hick
Poor family.
Yeah, this poor hick family from upstate New York, or something like that. That it constantly ends up in court in front of the judge, and he does this unbelievably over the top Ozark type accent, And there's always these comments about how Grandma got blown away in the hurricane while still sitting on her Barco lounger.
Yeah.
And he's and the thing, actually, a bit of a digression, but it is related. I remember hearing an interview with him where he says that he was actually just on the same day that he was told he got the part on Star Trek, he was offered. Instead of being a recurring character, to actually be a series regular on Night Court, and he didn't want to do Star Trek. He didn't think it was going to work, but his agent prevailed on him that he had a better chance with that, and so he took it. And here we are.
Yeah,
Here
sure.
we are.
Not too long after that, Night Court got the
canceled.
sack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Any other?
It's really a shame too. Night Court was an awesome show.
But we digress. Any other favorite characters, Sam?
Yeah, for me, my second favorite character is 7 of 9. I think she's just so cool.
Yeah, I'm sure there are many teenage boys that would agree with you.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm more logical. I'm more logical than I am emotional. So as a female, I can kind of understand her. Sometimes not really understanding what's going on in the world and why people are reacting the way they are, because I like to err on the side of logic. So she's my second favorite character. But my first favorite character is Jadzia Dax, just because she's so cool.
Well, okay, her character is kind of fun. Yeah.
The history that she has with the past lives really gives the character immediate depth, because she can always have a story relating to a situation because she in the various lives that she's lived.
And it doesn't necessarily have to fit the person you're seeing.
Yeah.
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 And I think that was an interesting choice too, to make the actual relationship he had with the captain was when
she was
she was male.
Yeah.
And
that was neat. And
I think that's probably my favorite alien too. Is the, what are they called? I can't even remember. What?
Trill.
Oh, Trill. Right, Trill. Those are my favorite aliens.
Yeah, you know what? When they first introduced the Trill on Next Generation, in the one episode where Riker has to be the host.
Yeah, and Deanna was in love with the original.
No, Dr. Crusher.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Sorry, Dr. Crusher.
He banged Dr. Crusher.
Oh, right.
And then she was seeing Riker.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't cope. And then the next host that comes along is a woman.
Yeah. Oh, well. But yeah, no, I especially loved the episode.
She just can't change sides that way.
Yeah.
Can't switch teams.
Oh, but she was perfectly willing to screw a ghost.
Well, yeah.
But we'll get to that later. That
was when Anne Rice is.
We'll get to that later. The episode, the Dax episode where they brought back the 3 main Klingons from the original series, I absolutely loved. Where you had Koloff and Kur and Kang show up. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. No, I don't remember that episode.
No? Oh, dear. Okay. Sam, do you remember that episode?
You who criticized his memory.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I have a hard time with remembering episodes too, so sorry.
When you see this episode, it'll blow you away. It's basically the 3 Klingon captains that are the most famous from the original series show up on Deep Space Nine and inform Dax that they found this renegade Klingon known as the Albino, and Curzon Dax made a blood oath with these 3 Klingons to hunt this guy down and kill him. But the thing is that Jadzia is a pacifist, and Curzon wasn't. And she has to actually honor her blood oath. It's the same original actors that played those Klingons in the original series. So it was really amazing. What about you,
Trish? What about some of yours?
Yeah.
Favorite episode?
Characters.
Oh, characters. Well, I liked Spock. I've always liked Spock. Yeah. But my favorite actor was DeForest Kelley. I always adored DeForest Kelley.
Yeah, Dr. McCoy.
Is it for the actor, or is it the character? Any parts of the character
I liked
that you
McCoy. I've always adored McCoy. His heart, his passion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he's pretty funny too.
And his humor, but he was always so gentle. You know, the one episode when they were all on the planet where they got hit with the spores and Spock ends up falling in love with the girl.
And McCoy's drinking a mint julep.
Mint julep underneath the tree. And it just so beautifully portrayed.
Yeah, but wasn't that also the same episode where
he threatened
said,
to knock the wind?
No, break the guy. I can set your arm. You want me to break it first?
No, you want me to show you how fast I can put you in the hospital.
Okay. Something like that. Anyway.
Yeah. No, that's true. He was definitely a good character. He was an important character.
And what do you think of Carl Urban's portrayal of McCoy?
That's what I was going to ask.
I do like that. I think that he was a very good choice.
Yeah.
You know, but Carl Urban is an excellent actor as well.
Yeah.
But when DeForest Kelley died, I just bawled. Oh goodness, I cried.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job with the new casting. All in all, I like it for the most part.
The guy who's playing the new Spock drives me nuts. You know, his face is like he's been Botoxed everywhere.
Wait, Spock is who? What's that guy's name?
The Vulcan.
Zachary Quinto?
Zachary Quinto, right.
Okay, but he was Siler on Heroes. He was like the best character.
That's a different topic.
I've never actually seen Heroes.
Like his coolness from that carries over, but yeah.
Well, I think
I
think he does an
really
excellent
does
job.
The part, though.
He does a good job, but I mean, it's
actually actually that carries over to what I was going to say though.
Leonard Nimoy's face still had movement. It had
that's
character.
True. What'll be the real test for Zachary Quinto will be, and this goes to asking me the question of who my favorite character was, the Mirror Universe Spock. So the real test is going to be, is Quinto going to be able to pull off a goatee?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Goatee.
But yeah, Spock with the goatee was my all-time favorite character.
And of course, Ricardo Montalban.
Oh, well, okay. Wait, actually, no. We'll leave that for somebody. Yeah, Dave?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, wait, hang
Do
on.
you want to say it, or do you want me to put in the sound clip?
Wait, hang on. Are we talking favorite characters only in the
favorite
old
villains.
stuff? Or
No.
Oh, any favorite character.
I love Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan. Like, I don't care about the rest of the movies right now.
Okay, wait. Let's clarify. Let's clarify.
I saw that. It's his acting. Like, I honestly was very impressed with it. I didn't know who he was. I went and I was like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And then I look him up and there's some crazy people out there, let me just tell you, on the internet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
You only just figured that out?
and they're all in love with Benedict Cumberbatch. That's in lieu of something new. I don't know. But anyway, I thought that was, like, I was very impressed with that character.
I'm sorry, but compared to... Dave, go ahead and say it first. Who's your favorite?
Well, Ricardo Montalban.
Yes.
Corinthian leather.
Soft Corinthian leather.
When it comes right down to it, I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch is an amazing actor. I will grant you that without question. And I'm so looking forward to seeing him as Doctor Strange. But he is not
Sherlock.
Khan.
He was awesome.
No.
He is not Khan.
No.
Ricardo Montalban is
And
and
always
always
will
will be Khan. I mean,
I
mean-
grow fatigue.
yes, if you'll excuse me, Captain, I grow fatigue.
But if you will excuse me, gentlemen, ladies, I grow fatigued again.
And you don't just have to say the line; you have to do the hand movements.
That's right.
And his accent.
But worse than that, you feel yourself doing the hand movement.
Yes. and you know, mankind hasn't changed. Well, of course, there are technological advances, but there are still the same dreams, the same aspirations. And actually, I was just listening to an interview with Nicholas Meyer, the guy that wrote Wrath of Khan, and he also confirmed, yes, those were Montalban's real pectorals. Those weren't fake.
Okay, are you guys really serious about this? Because I just found that whole movie to be ridiculously cheesy and over the top.
Okay, are you talking about the Wrath of Khan?
Yes.
Okay, calm down, dear. Calm down. Calm down. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Relax. Don't worry. No one's going to...
Fie on you, woman.
Okay.
Okay, you're actually going to tell me that it wasn't overacted? Did we see the same movie?
He's supposed to
But
be
you know what?
insane.
In some respects, you could say that about much of the show, though.
Yeah.
You know, the original Star Trek, there was a lot of that was overacted, and you know,
Yeah, especially
exactly. You know, that
Chekhov.
doesn't necessarily help to it. But you know, I think that's part of what contributed to it. You know, overall, because a lot of the actors were either stage actors or big movie screen, you know, type actors, and so to
And then
go
there was
on to
William
a
Shatner.
TV show. I'm sorry?
I don't know what
Well,
you'd categorize Shatner as.
yeah, but then you take them onto a TV show where you know they have a limited time, limited scope. There's only so much you can do in your
$15
script.
a day
and-
budget.
Yeah, exactly. So you know they're not doing it for the money for sure. So to get them to tailor down to that level, you know, you could see a lot of the big name actors that were in the Star Trek series that came in to do cameos and whatnot. They all kind of had that same type of problem. They're over the top, and then you put them beside James T. Kirk, who's always over the top. It sort of
God, yeah.
fit.
Oh my
It sort
God.
of fit.
Yeah.
I will never
So, yeah,
understand.
I can see
He's
your
to
point.
this day is overacting.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
now
but you
he's
know
doing
what?
it on
He's
purpose.
honest about it.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He never claims to be anything else but. This is
But
what it is. This is who it
Anything
is.
else but himself.
Actually, the funny thing about Shatner, right, slight digression. You know that they just came out with a new Batman cartoon where the voices are being done by the original Batman and Robin, Adam West and Burt Ward. And
No, I did not know that. Thank
yeah,
you
it's
for sharing.
titled Return of the Cape Crusaders. It's already had such a huge pre-sale that you know that people pre-ordering the video that they've decided to start work on a sequel, and it's going to be Batman versus Two-Face, and Two-Face is going to be voiced by William Shatner.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. Adam West and William Shatner on the same movie.
It's going to be hard to tell them apart.
That's a very good point.
A funny bit of trivia I just found out about the script for this. It was actually supposed to be an episode of the original Batman TV series. It was written by Harlan Ellison, the guy that wrote City on the Edge of Forever, the episode with Joan Collins. And the thing was, the producers of Star Trek were also somewhat involved in the production of the Batman series. And they had such a horrible experience working with Harlan Ellison that they basically just...
But he's such an amazing author.
that they just threw away his script and said, not a chance. We're never... This one's never getting produced. They never even read it. And now it's finally being made as an animated film. So there you go. We've come full circle.
Where were we? We were on favorite
Well, we
episodes?
just finished up favorite characters, so...
And no one
did we?
screamed the name.
Oh, well, you know what? Nobody scream it. I'm going to put in the audio clip.
Because-
I've done far worse than kill you. I've hurt you. And I wish to go on hurting you. I shall leave you as you left me, as you left her.
marooned for all eternity in the center of a dead planet. Buried alive. Buried alive.
Because somebody defiled the film.
Oh, well, no. Spock in Star Trek Beyond. Star Trek Into Darkness does the yell.
Does which yell?
He yells Khan.
Oh yeah.
And he butchers it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, moving on.
How do you
Back to
butcher
us.
yelling someone's name?
You saw the movie. Compare Shatner's yelling Khan to Zachary Quinto's.
Yeah, well, it did seem cheesy and over the top, so it just
There you
It had to be. It had to be.
seemed like the original to me. So.
Okay. So,
And thus you answer your own question.
how about characters you hate then? Sam?
I'm not a big fan. What?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'm not-
What characters you hate?
I'm not a big fan of the Klingons.
At
I
all?
don't know. At all. But
Oh.
I particularly dislike Worf, and when we watched The Next Generation and got done, I was like, so glad I don't have to see Worf anymore.
And then you saw
but
Deep
then-
Space Nine.
And there he was in Deep Space Nine. And no, but to make it worse, okay, fine. He's in Deep Space Nine. Maybe he'll have a minor role. Oh no, he goes and marries my favorite. Oh, sorry.
That's what I was going to ask.
And then, just to make matters worse, they kill her and keep him.
Exactly. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, jeez.
All in all, I like the Worf character, kind of like the fact that they're introducing that type of a character in New Gen. But to be honest, I didn't really like the New Gen cast all in all, with the exception of Picard.
Oh, but everybody loves Picard.
Well, yeah, but
Or
for the
wait a
most
second,
part, I don't
Samantha,
like,
do you love Picard?
You know,
He's all right. I guess I see why everybody likes him.
No, we want to have differing opinions. I don't know.
no, but it's true.
I really liked Worf. What I didn't like was
Worf's
the one episode. We'll get to that later. But I just hated the way that, basically, if there was going to be an alien that was able to kick ass, he had to kick Worf's ass.
Yep. And everybody kicked Worf's ass.
Yeah, everybody kicked Worf's ass. And this is my chief of security, Mr. Worf. Please beat him up. Oh boy.
Yeah, he had the hardest time.
What about you? Who's your least favorite character? Who's the character that when they come on screen you're just like, oh please?
The original Chekhov.
Walter
He
Koenig.
was such a wimp.
Yes, he was.
I have never seen a man
Yeah.
scream like a girl so much.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, do you remember that from the first convention you took me to? Where they had that thing that gave the synopsis of all the Star Trek films, and it was like, and the very last line of every description of the film was, and Chekhov screams.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Chekhov burns his hand and screams. Chekhov gets a worm in his ear and screams. Chekhov falls off of aircraft carrier and screams.
No, but it's
don't
true.
mind
I
the
mean,
new one as much.
there's a lot of character. For all the different types of Star Trek that were out there. Obviously they had to introduce a lot of characters, and some stayed and some didn't. But all in all, if I had to say, really, Next Gen was my least favorite of them all. Granted it had Data in it and it had Picard in it, so exclude them. But for the most part, most of the other characters I really didn't like. Especially Q.
I agree with you there. I was going to actually say my least.
Q is awesome.
See, the reason why there's a definite reason why I didn't like Q, and I've said this before in the comic book episodes and so forth. I don't like omnipotent characters. They irritate me to no end.
Remind you of your parents?
No, they weren't. They were definitely not that. But it's just the fact of something to have all that power and not to know what to do with it just irritates me to no end.
Okay, add Q to my favorite character list. Go ahead.
What's that?
Add Q to my favorite character list.
No, I won't do it. My fingers will not type it.
I honestly, I got to agree with you, Dave, and definitely say my all-time least favorite character would have to be Q. But
I love the actor.
Yeah, John Delancey was great.
The actor.
And also, he did have one of the funniest moments in the entire series, Next Generation, where he brings the mariachi band onto the bridge.
Yeah, that too.
That part made me laugh so hard.
I mean, he had a lot of scenes. Go ahead, Samantha.
See, I remember loving Q, and then now we're watching Next Generation again, and the very first episode, I'm like, this guy is an idiot. So I can see where you're coming from, but I think he gets cooler as time goes by, and I do think
for sure.
it's the actor and the way he portrays the character.
But at the same time, he's supposed to be this immortal, omnipotent, omniscient character, and his hairline recedes a little bit every episode he shows up.
Oh, yeah. There's always so much you can do about that. No. But I have to say, I love the actor. I just don't like those types of characters. That has always been my issue with everything.
They're inevitably petty.
Yeah, that's why you didn't like the Beyonder and the Marvel Secret Wars.
Correct. I didn't like Galactus. I don't like, Superman. I don't like, so forth and so forth. I just
okay. Moving on, unless anybody else has anybody to...
One thing I forgot to mention in the favorites was Captain Archer.
Oh, Captain Archer from
Although that's
Enterprise.
partially because I have a soft spot for Scott Bakula.
Annoyed me too. All the captains annoyed me. All of them.
All of them annoy you?
All of them.
Even Picard?
Even Picard. Let's see. The least annoying... Nope, can't pick a least annoying. See... I like Janeway a lot more now that she's in prison. You guys watch Orange is the New Black. She's awesome in that. Anyway, no, I like all of them. I find annoying. All the captains.
Well, from what I understand, the new series, the story isn't going to be centered on the captain. It's going to be centered on one of the other bridge crew. So the captain is going to be only a supporting character.
Who is it being centered on?
Well, they are not giving away too many details, unfortunately. Well, I'll get to that in a bit, but moving on. Sam, what's your favorite episode?
I don't really have a favorite episode.
Really?
I have a bad memory. Like, if somebody's talking about an episode, I may or may not remember, but I can't think of any
They all kind of blend together after a while. Sorry, what was your favorite series?
Deep Space Nine. I probably because Jadzia was in it, but cool. I don't know. There's something interesting. Just the idea of them being on this space anomaly and all the sorts of things that happened around it. Voyager, I didn't like the premise of them being stuck in deep space. No, I didn't like that. You know what episode really disturbed me in Voyager? The episode that really disturbed me was the one where they landed on this planet, and this planet absorbed their essence and created a clone of them.
Duplicates.
And then at the end of the episode they're disintegrating, and you find out that it's actually these fake things that think they're the crew, and it was disintegrating, and I'm even tearing up now just thinking about it, because you get these things, and they think that they're really the crew, and they've got all the memories, and then everything's just falling apart at the end, and then it disintegrates. Oh, that was so sad.
Didn't they do almost the exact same storyline in Doctor Who? Yeah, they did. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, a lot of the ideas, I'm sure, were rehashed in other series, Even the thing with Deep Space Nine, the security dude, the changeling.
Oh, Odo.
Odo, right.
Constable Odo.
So that whole thing about, getting him with the virus and, infecting the pool and all the rest of that stuff. I mean, I hated all of that stuff going on, but I kind of liked the character, originally.
Yeah, well...
He was so interesting, and they could do... I feel like they could have done more with him than they actually did, if that makes sense. They did this weird thing about him falling in love or whatever, and I don't remember what they did, but it was... Yeah. No, I didn't like it.
I think most of the appeal wasn't so much the character as the actor. Rene Auberjonois is an amazing actor. Yeah, he was also the original Father Mulcahy in the movie MASH.
Was he? Father
Oh, yeah.
Mulcahy. Oh, yeah, that's right. No, wait.
In the movie, not the TV series.
Okay, in the movie.
Yeah,
And
although
he
there was a
wasn't he
different
in-
Father Mulcahy in the series in the first
Yeah, in the
one.
pilot. In the pilot, yeah.
Sorry, wasn't he in Beauty and the Beast?
Was he?
Renee?
The new one or the...
The old one.
Oh, the
Like the
TV
old,
series?
when
with-
I was a kid, the old one.
the TV series with Ron Perlman? That's set
No,
in
the
New York?
movie. No, the Oh yeah, that my mom used to love that show. She used to
Okay,
watch it when I was a kid. Anyway,
so
no,
you're
I'm talking about the animated.
So the Disney cartoon.
Yes.
Was he? No. I don't think
Well,
so.
I'm gonna look it up.
Let's
You guys
look it
can-
up.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the things I liked about Deep Space Nine on the whole, and I know a lot of people didn't like Deep Space Nine, but the one thing I liked about it was that it was the first time, in all the other episodes, they were always traveling someplace, and they're going on and on, new episode, they're going on and on. At least in this place, they had to set up routes, and they had to defend it, and I liked that concept, that, they were here to stay. They can't, well, at least at the beginning, they couldn't easily get up and go anywhere.
Until they
so
got the Defiant.
whatever was to happen, whatever was to happen was going to happen here. The buck stops here type of thing. And so that sense of defense and, it was different than having to defend their ship from getting boarded or
Yeah, it was more of
people
a city
transporting
under
on.
siege kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And a port of call for all the different races and so forth, sort of coming in there,
Yeah.
trying to build lives with all this back history. I liked all that. It was not unlike Babylon 5 at the time, but
Yeah, that was a- that was a
but it had
big
its own flair.
That was a big sticking point for me, that it was that Deep Space Nine and Babylon 5 were just so similar in so many respects.
Yeah, but then they introduced the Kick-Ass Defiant, and all things was better.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Trish? What's your favorite episode?
City on the Edge of Forever.
The Joan Collins episode.
No.
So which one was that one?
That's the one where the
Hydrocortisone is accidentally injected into Dr. McCoy when they're on the surface of a planet, and there's this great big glowing circle.
this giant stone
semicircle.
lifesaver that when you jump through it, it sends you back through time.
And when McCoy jumps through it, he alters history so
Right.
that the Enterprise is gone, everything that they know is gone. So Kirk and Spock go through to find out what he did and try to undo it. And what he did was save Edith Keeler, which is Joan Collins,
And-
from getting run over by a car, because if she'd lived, she would have caused this peace movement, which would have stopped the U.S. from going to war, and would have made it so that Hitler won.
Right.
And the problem is
I was
that
like alternate
Kirk
history.
falls in love
Yeah.
with Edith Keeler.
Yeah, and then when they realize what has to be done, he lets her get run over by a car,
By stopping McCoy from saving her.
and McCoy yells out, "Do you realize I could have saved her?"
Do you realize what you've done?
Yeah. He knows, Doctor. He knows.
Yeah. Is that the one that before they would jump in, it would show different
Yes,
locations?
it showed
Yeah.
all these different scenes, and then
And
afterwards, it's going. The ring is speaking, saying, that let me be your gateway to forever.
So I don't
such
remember
journeys
if it
are
was that.
possible.
I don't
Sorry?
remember if it was that one or if it was the one where Picard and Worf had to jump through this portal and they reappeared on one of the other ships or something like that. But of those two episodes, one of them actually showed New City Hall here in Toronto.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Ooh,
Yeah.
New City Hall.
That gets
Yeah.
used a lot whenever they want to try to show something
New
futuristic.
City Hall wouldn't have existed at that point.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would have been.
Yeah, it would have been the
Oh,
next
so
gen
it
episode.
would have been the Picard
Yeah.
one then.
But
But
yeah,
I remember
they-
I remember thinking about that as you were saying it.
Yeah, they even used Toronto City Hall for one of the what's her face?
Resident Evil.
Yeah, they used it for Resident Evil.
She
to
runs
give
down it.
Yeah, she runs down the side
Cool.
of City Hall. Yeah, it's
How
probably
about you,
the only
Moses?
good
What's
part
the
about
favorite
the movie.
episode?
Sorry,
What's your favorite episode?
mine would be the very first Romulan episode, Balance of Terror.
With Mark Leonard.
Yeah, with Mark
That
Leonard
was a
playing the
good-
Romulan captain, and
Yes.
I mean,
Everybody freaks out looking at Spock.
Yeah, but the thing is, just like it had this whole wonderful, submarine run silent, run deep kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Where they're, hunting a ship that they can't see, and Mark Leonard's performance as the Romulan captain was just, I mean,
he was an excellent
yeah,
actor.
it was so good because it showed that even though like he was one of the bad guys, he was sorry to be quoting Wreck-It Ralph. Even though he was one of the bad guys, he wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah.
He really
Yeah.
just wanted.
I mean,
to
he was a real veteran captain.
He just wanted to,
and in that episode, you could feel that.
Just wanted to do his duty and go home.
Yeah.
And just a beautifully performed episode. And what about you, Dave?
Well, of course, I have to say Wrath of Khan. There
Space
wasn't
Seed.
anything about... Sorry?
Space Seed, then. The first
Space
the Khan
Seed.
episode.
Space Seed. Because, that whole concept where, the Star Trek is dealing with aliens and everything that they're coming up with and fighting against and making alliances with and so forth. But then here you have something that is from their own history turning back around.
Come back to bite them in the ass.
Exactly, and it's all predicated on this thing that they say that they've already conquered, which was this need for greed and selfishness and money and all the rest of the stuff. But yet they still, prior to that, they built these these people, and then they couldn't control them. So what they do, they sent them off into space.
Yeah, actually,
Right?
that was one of the things that kind of bugged me about Star Trek Into Darkness with Cumberbatch's version of Khan. Was that, I mean, Montalban only had an hour to work with, and Cumberbatch had, 2.5 hours to work with? And you've got a much greater feel in the episode Space Seed of Khan's history in that shorter period of time than you did. I mean, when they actually explain who Khan is in the movie, it's kind of like, yeah, he's from the past. And that was it.
But I think they did it on purpose,
that
though.
people already know who he is? And I don't know.
But you really
I think they did, because they were leading up to that moment where they finally said that they finally said his name and he's Khan. So I think
everybody was supposed to be like, "Oh, Khan!"
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's how it felt to me. That's what they were building it up towards, so that all of the classic Star Trek lovers would say, "Oh my God, I can't believe it's him." But then the reality being is, all those classic Star Trek lovers would have already read all of the previews and the sneak previews and stuff, and they would already know the fact that they were introducing him as the character. So
and here's the thing too, is because I remember I didn't really like Khan before, so I didn't really remember much about it. And then they did this big it's Khan, and I was like, am I supposed to know who that is?
Yeah,
and my
exactly.
husband's like,
that was the problem with
Khan. And I'm like, who's Khan? And he's like, be quiet, there are other people in the theater. Okay, sorry.
That's the problem with assuming.
The whole, because of that sort of lead up, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. But then, that being said, I was always fond of Ricardo as Khan. So
oh yeah, he's just
it was tainted.
And I mean, it was especially once they did the movie Wrath of Khan. I mean, he'd been playing Mr. Rourke on Fantasy Island for so long that when you finally saw him as Khan, it was just this wonderful palate refresher. Where instead of playing "Smiles, everyone smiles," he was Khan.
True.
And I especially love I mean, it's one of my favorite moments of all time, that when he hasn't even been seen yet, but you got Chekhov and the other captain in the shelter, and
Botany Bay.
He goes,
Botany Bay.
"Oh no!"
Botany Bay. Botany Bay. Oh no.
So I mean, since we've had this different version of Khan, what would you say?
Episodes that you hate?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Who wants
Did you have any episodes that you hated?
Well, I was never very fond of as a whole the the Voyager or the Deep Space Nine. I didn't watch them at all.
Oh, okay.
We can't not be fond of them if you didn't watch them.
Oh, I tried.
She tried. I promise you,
Okay.
she tried.
And
All right, fine.
Okay, but to be more specific, say like the original series. Was there one episode from the original series that you just can't stand?
Well, no. The problem is that I can't stand it because it has a personal association. The episode on Gideon, the planet that's overcrowded.
Oh,
So they kidnapped Kirk because he had this one virus and recovered, and they want him. There's this girl he's transported, and he thinks he's on his own ship, and it's empty now, except for this one girl with this really long blonde ponytail.
Oh yeah.
And every time I would see this episode, my mom, if she was passing through, would go, "I went to college with her. I used to act with her.
Oh, no.
I could be doing what she's doing." And I was,
Mom,
everybody
stop.
used to say that I was better than her.
Okay, Mom, just stop.
And it's just like, okay,
Yep.
it's
I
just
hear what
like,
you're saying.
soured everything about this one episode. So it's just like, as soon as I would see this one woman, to be just like, oh, God, no.
Yeah, no, I can see your point. For me, there's 2 episodes, and people are going to write me about this. I legitimately hated Trouble with Tribbles.
Really?
Hated it. Now, don't get it confused.
Why hated? I didn't
Don't get
particularly
confused.
enjoy it, but I don't hate it.
This one, not to get this confused, the Deep Space Nine version of it, because
That was Trials
they
and
did-
Tribulations.
That's right. So when they did that version of it, I liked the episode more because of how they merged the clips of the film. I think I mentioned that in a previous episode, but I preferred that version. But the actual Trouble with Tribble, I didn't like the episode. I just drove me crazy. Every time, even now to this day, when they started introducing Tribbles back into the show, I just immediately cringe and think, oh my God, I can't stand these things. Like they did it in Enterprise. The Doctor Phlox?
Yeah, Dr. Phlox, yeah.
Yeah.
He had a Tribble,
Yeah.
and he fed it to one of his lizards.
Yes.
That was a good moment for me.
Oh,
and they kill and also in Star Trek Into Darkness they killed the Tribble and then injected it with Khan's blood and it came back to life.
Okay, but wait a minute. Why do you not like the Tribbles?
I don't know what it was about the episode on the whole, but
you
just-
should have been happy at the end,
It's-
because when they send them all to the Klingon ship, the Klingons would have slaughtered them.
well, that was mildly amusing, but at that point I was already over the top. I didn't want to see another Tribble.
Actually,
Don't
there
show
was-
me another. I'm done.
But was
Actually,
it the
there was
noise
one
they
thing-
make?
Sorry?
I don't know, but I knew was as the episode went on, I disliked them more and more.
Actually, there was
Yeah.
one thing about that episode that I know you did like. When we were at a convention and someone was telling us a story about the scene where Kirk is buried under a pile of Tribbles and then his head sticks out, and every now and again this Tribble, a Tribble will just come through the doorway and just bop him on the head. And it turned out that they were actually doing there were crew members up in there, and they were purposely saying,
Doing
let's
it
see
on
how many times let's see if we can knock his toupee off.
Yeah, that was humorous, but that was not part of the episode. They did it in the episode,
But it wasn't part of the episode.
It wasn't part of the episode. That was one of them, and the other one that I couldn't handle was the one where they're on this planet and everything they imagine comes to life. So this one guy imagined some World War II plane, and it came down and started shooting at them.
Right.
And
McCoy got killed
Kirk
in
fights Gil. Was his guy the guy from school, Gilligan or Gillifin or
Finnegan.
Finnegan, yeah.
Finnegan? Right, Finnegan. And so
Beats the crap
Finnegan
out
with
of
the
Kirk.
music. Oh my God! that
Yeah,
episode drove me
I agree
crazy.
with you there. That character and that music just drove me nuts.
It's the Leprechaun music.
Hey, Jim, baby! I see you brought up reinforcements. Well, I'm waiting for you, Jimmy boy. Finnegan! What's been happening to my people?
Plus,
Yeah.
the girl that Kirk is supposed to be madly in love with, Ruth, from years ago when he was in the academy.
Yes.
I'm sorry, that actress looked like she was old enough to be his mother.
Yeah, she looked like she was a cougar or something like that.
Oh my God! I mean, she must have been one of his instructors.
Maybe she was.
Maybe she was. Yeah.
So those are definitely two of my. Even thinking about them now.
I liked that one too, because McCoy was, the chivalrous in that, although he got killed.
Didn't he end up with the Vegas Showgirls?
Well, he came up with them after he'd been healed, repaired, and the girl that he'd been with when he first went down, who he got killed because she wanted to be a princess.
And then the Vegas Showgirls latch on to Spock.
Yes.
How about you? Did you have any, Moses? Any ones that you?
Oh yeah. The one.
We only have an hour show, eh?
Yeah. The one in particular that Trish briefly mentioned earlier, the episode from Next Generation that was inspired by one of the Anne Rice novels, where Dr. Crusher basically ends up having lots of sex with a ghost. Just. Oh God! It was such a bad episode. I mean,
the lantern.
Oh, I just wish I could erase that episode from my memory. I would also add to that list Spock's brain.
You keep mentioning
Spock's brain. I remember that episode.
God, this was so bad.
So stupid. It was so stupid.
And also
Worf's spine.
Worf's spine. I don't remember what the episode was actually titled, but I always call it Worf's spine. Because
Riker's sexuality.
Yeah, Riker's sexuality as well. Yeah, I mean,
this is the third time you're going through this list through our episodes.
It was terrible.
There's Star Trek pet peeves.
They were I mean, they suddenly just announced out of nowhere that he can regrow his spine, and the whole episode. I mean, it was the whole episode where Riker falls in love with this not hermaphrodite. What's the term?
She was androgynous.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be an episode about gay rights, and it was just so bad. I couldn't. But no, the Anne Rice ghost episode.
No closet homophobia here.
No. Not that there's anything wrong with that. but
that's a different show.
A lot of time those on-the-nose episodes just don't turn out well, where you're like, I'm going to make a point, and here it is, and it's like, no, you kind of have to be more subtle than that.
Oh, you mean like Star Trek's Greenpeace one?
Any sort of...
Voyage
Save
Home.
the whales?
Save the whales, yeah.
That was fun.
Or do you remember the Star Trek Christmas episode?
No.
Okay, so maybe they were subtle enough. The Christmas episode was the one where they end up on a planet that appears to be just like Earth, but it's Earth if the Roman Empire had never fallen. So the Roman Empire still exists in Earth's 20th century.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You remember that? And so they're forced into gladiator games on live television.
Is that where they were actually mind controlling them?
No, that was a different episode.
Oh, okay.
And at the end of the episode,
Uhura talks about the sun.
Yeah, because the people that are trying to help them, this rebellion, they're worshippers of the sun, and they always assumed that they were worshipping the sun. And then at the end of the episode, Uhura tells them that she's been listening to all their radio transmissions, and what they worship isn't the sun, it's the Son of God.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that one.
So, it isn't until the end of the episode that you realize this is a Jesus episode.
Because Kirk sits there going, wouldn't it, like he often does, wouldn't it be wonderful to watch it happen all over again?
No.
But didn't they do one like that for the Constitution or something like that too?
Yes!
That's why I said, he says that, does this, wouldn't it be wonderful to watch it happen all over again?
And then there was the episode with the gangsters.
I'd advise you to keep your seat.
I think that was called A Piece of the Action.
Yes.
And then there was the Nazi episode.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Oh, boy, Okay, what about you, Sam? Oh, no, did we already ask you what's your least favorite? Yeah, we
You did, and I said it with my favorite episode, so I'm going to revisit my favorite episode. This part. Okay, I really like the Borg Queen episodes. She was a very interesting character, I thought.
Oh,
and
well,
I don't remember a lot of the details, but I just remember her being terribly interesting.
That's
And
fair.
I'm wanting to see more of
Yeah,
her
first
character.
first contact where they introduced her was just amazing. I thought she was wonderful.
So I really like villain characters. They're always my favorite. Usually.
So you should have loved Khan.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, she does
Okay,
love Khan,
but I like
just the
just
wrong
Well,
one.
yeah, just the wrong one.
villain characters.
That's okay.
So
fair
that's
enough.
why I like the Borg Queen, because she's
Okay.
a very
Oh, she
wonderful-
was awesome.
She's an amazing actress.
That's
Can't
true.
pronounce her name,
Very
though.
true. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
All right.
you
So
know,
it's good. We got some good stuff in there, I think.
yeah, Star
Right?
Trek, one of the all-time greats.
Yep. Where would we be without it?
Bored, silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know what?
Okay.
We'd be quite a bit further back, I think. I think it really did help inspire, you know, as we were saying before, there are shows about all the technology that came from Star Trek and so forth. So as we said, we're not going to delve into that. But the point being is it really has, you know, opened our minds to new possibilities and, you know, help keep people thinking ahead.
Looking to the stars.
And
Looking to
pointed
the
ears.
stars and the pointed ears and all the other types of shapes of ears. All right, so let's
sex with
wrap
green
it up. Did you say
You'll get
green
your
or
finger
green?
stuck in your hair and pull it off.
Probably both.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, green. Okay.
That's some good shit. I like Captain Kirk and shit. Captain Kirk will fuck anybody. I seen him beam down on a planet. Ever see the episode he fucked this green bitch? You got to be a horny motherfucker to fuck a green bitch. I mean, I ain't no racist, but if the bitch is green, there's something wrong with the pussy. He be fucking, the music be going dun 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 boom 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 dun 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 dun.
The only man
Okay,
who
so-
gets his own...
Sex music.
Really, it's true.
Okay.
You can't hear that music without thinking about him.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, Dave, do we have any geek talk back?
We do.
Oh,
we had,
cool. Because last
what's that?
episode we didn't.
what's that? Yes, we did.
Did we? Okay, fine. Continue.
So just, it was actually, I have two pieces. One, I did get a message from someone who just recently started watching the episodes, and I thought I should definitely bring it up now because it was with the book versus movie, the literacy episode. So
That was Samantha's previous
thank you for
episode.
that. That's right.
Yay,
So
that was me.
Yay!
I wanted to make sure I brought up that comment. Thank you for one of our new listeners. Just as if you hadn't heard before, yes, we had our first episode hit 100 viewers. So yay for Pete.
Yay!
Yeah, big
Good
thank you,
job there,
Pete.
buddy. But yeah, so we're getting there. You know, we got our shirts going out there. We have the website going up there. So
Oh, the T-shirts are awesome.
Yeah, we're getting there. Samantha got her shirt.
Yeah.
Yay! I got my shirt.
Yeah, for doing an episode, we're giving out shirts. So, you know, if anybody out there has an episode idea, feel free to contact us. Let us know. One of the other items I had for Geek Talk Back was that someone sent me a link just recently that they say that they have discovered the secrets to the Bermuda Triangle. This is in response to the first episode we released of the cryptozoology.
Part 1 of episode 20, yes.
Yeah, it's part 1. And they said that scientists now have identified that there are these hexagonal, I believe, storms in the Bermuda Triangle area that cause what they are calling air bombs, which is basically a drastic change in air pressure that causes these funnels of air to shoot down from the sky towards the water, and anything that gets caught up in these bombs may immediately feel the effects of up to 170 or higher mile per hour winds, which if it's a boat, it changes the density of the water, which causes them to sink. If you're obviously in the air, you're going to get flung around like crazy. And they have spotted these odd shapes because most storm shapes aren't don't have flat sides, right? They're
circular.
Random, shapes. But in these cases, they're actually hectagonal, flat-sided storm fronts.
Weird.
So anyway, I don't know if it's true.
I have a question, Dave. What
Fire away.
if it picked up sharks?
Oh no!
Well, picked up sharks.
Sharknado! Oh
Sharknado!
Well, if it hits one of the planes that have lasers, then they'd have freaking lasers attached to them, flying around the Bermuda Triangle.
Isn't that
throw me a
Sharknado 8?
frickin'
I
bone
think that's
here.
a lot of Sharknado 8.
You see, that's again where our fiction comes to fact. So there we go. Those are actually movies telling about the possible futures of the Bermuda Triangle.
Awesome.
So that's what something that someone had sent back to me. So I had to let you know that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So keep them coming. We do
please.
listen. We do respond. Episode ideas. We welcome episode ideas, and we're happy to put you on the air and talk about your episode. So bring them. Keep them coming.
Well, speaking of ideas and as a result, intellectual properties, Samantha, you've got something coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm publishing a series of books. It's a fantasy series. It's called Fallen Redemption. The first 2 books are out, and the third book is coming in December. The series is about an angel who gets swept up into a war between heaven and hell. But the first book, she doesn't know she's about to get swept into this war. It's about, she's a guardian angel. She watches over different people as they go through their lives, and she struggles with watching them. And in this world, people reincarnate, and they build out rather elaborate life plans, and her job is to keep them on track, and they're just very determined to go off track despite all of her struggles to keep them on track. So that's the first one, and then the second one goes from there, and then the third one is the conclusion, which, the second one's called Reaping Angel, and the third one's called Warring Angel, and it's out in December.
And it's available where?
Right now it's available on Amazon in paperback and on Kindle. I was going wide, but I'm trying the Kindle Select, so you can get it on Kindle Unlimited for free, or you can get it just for your Kindle if you don't have Kindle Unlimited. In a few months from now, I might decide to go wide again on Kobo and things like that, but for right now, it's just on Amazon.
Awesome. And you have is your
Congratulations,
artwork
by
ready?
the way.
Well, thank you.
Is the artwork ready for the third book?
Yes,
Awesome.
I just did the cover reveal on Monday. I think you have it, don't you, Dave?
No, I don't have it yet. But if you also need help finding the books, if you go to the geektalkmd.com website,
Yeah,
you
we
can
got
go
a
to the fair
website!
tab. Yeah! We're almost in the 20th century. So
21st.
21st, yes.
no, we're almost in the 20th century. So
Talk by
you
Gary.
you can go to the fair tab, and you can see some of the vendors that have helped us through the other episodes. So you'll see some links there for Samantha, as well as for Lionel and a couple of other people that have helped us with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye on that. We'll have specials and whatnot come up periodically. So definitely feel free to use our link to get to her website to buy her awesome books.
Mm-hmm.
And even for Adrian's wife's books and everybody else who's helped us out.
Read a book.
What's that?
Read a book.
Read a book.
Everybody out there, read a book.
Awesome.
So that's about
thanks. That's awesome.
Okay, so thanks Trish, thanks Samantha.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Scott, out there.
Yeah, thanks for trying. So pack up your lucky dice, put away the Chinese food menus, and we'll see you next time on Geek Talk MD. Good night.
Good night.